Good morning, students. Welcome back. We will resume this topic again. The state legislatures. In part 2, we will continue this topic. State legislature, we have talked about the different states where we have bicameral government. The number of members in an assembly depends on population of the state. Yes, it is depend on the population of the state, and the maximum population is 500 and the minimum is 60, but it depends according to the population of the state. It is less than 60 also, it can more than 500 also, but not more, at least 550. It is not more than 550. So its members are directly elected by the people, especially in Lok Sabha, especially in Legislative Assembly. The minimum age to be a member of Legislative Assembly is 25 years. If you want to be a member of Lok Sabha, then age requirement is to be 25 years. Some seats are reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, just like we have read in previous chapter. The reservations are there for the specific groups. For example, Uttar Pradesh has 404 members in its Legislative Assembly and Mizoram has only 440 members according to their population. The term of a legislative assembly is 5 years only, and in case it is not functioning according to the constitution, it can be dissolved before its time, and that time the president rule can be imposed in a particular area. If the government is not working properly, we have discussed this previous chapter also, that we people are having a right to change their representatives in the election, but if before time it is cancelled or dissolved, that time president rule is imposed in that particular area. Like the Lok Sabha, the Legislative Assembly has a speaker and a deputy speaker. The speaker presides over the meetings of the assembly and conducts its business. Do you know the legislature consisting one house, that is unicameral, and two house, that is called bicameral. We can see in the map the different territories we have, different states we have. You can see the location. First we have here Jammu and Kashmir, but right now it is divided. It is just because of Article 370 in 5th August 2019 it was divided, and Article 370 was removed from J&K, and Jammu and Kashmir become union territory instead of state. Ladakh also. Then after we have Uttar Pradesh having bicameral government. Then we have Karnataka here. Alright. Then we have Maharashtra over here. You can see in the map. And on the other hand, we can see here Andhra Pradesh. But Telangana also, we will have a bicameral government. You can see directly over here. These are the specific areas where the bicameral government can work, or bicameral legislature can work. Next we have here the Legislative Council. Vidhan Parishad is a permanent house, or we can say that the Rajya Sabha. It is also known as upper house, and it can work for the state level, which cannot be dissolved. It cannot be dissolved, it cannot be cancelled, because they can work for the state level. The term of its members is 6 years, but the 1/3 member are retired every 2 years. They are replaced by newly elected members but cannot be cancelled in total or as a whole. The Vidhan Parishad elects its chairperson and deputy chairperson from among its members. It is not from outside or from any other group. From there and then only they can select their chairperson and deputy chairperson. And the chairperson, who is the chairperson of Rajya Sabha? That is the Vice President of India, if we are talking about the central level. The minimum number of members in a legislative council is 40 and cannot exceed 1/3 of the total membership of the assembly of that state, and it is around 200 or 250 only. The minimum age to be a member of council is 30 years. If you want to if you want to choose an option to be a member of Rajya Sabha, the minimum criteria for the age is 30 years. Next, we have functions of the state legislature. What exactly the functions are? It makes laws for the state on the subject mentioned in the state list and concurrent list. And it passes the annual budget of the state also, because the budget, the money related matters are only discussed in the Lok Sabha, in the Legislative Assembly. It cannot discuss in Rajya Sabha. And it keeps a check on the Council of Ministers of the state, how they are working. The money bills can only be introduced in the Legislative Assembly when a bill is passed by the state legislature. Just like here it is mentioned, the money bill be introduced here in the Legislative Assembly when a bill is passed by the state legislature, sent to the governor for the consent. In state level, we are sending it for the consent of governor, and in central level, we are sending for the consent of president. The elected members of Legislative Assembly take part in the elections of the President of India along with the elected members of the Parliament. So this is your topic. Alright, and you just read chapter also. If any problem, then we will discuss in live class tomorrow. And here we have a Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly of Dharamshala at Tapovan. Okay, this is the location of that area. Thank you. Watch video carefully and understand the topic.